Before you start a GLP-1 like Ozempic, Wegovy, or Mounjaro, I want you to stop and listen. These shots are not magic, even though it may seem like it. Yes, they are powerful tools, but if you think they're a shortcut, or like so many people like to say, it's cheating, then you're sadly mistaken. Now, I'm saying this because I have seen so many women and heard stories of women who went into this process with a GLP-1 with the wrong mindset, and when they tapered off, they regained the weight and they felt worse than they did before. So before you start on your GLP-1 journey, I want to teach you 3 things that you should do to set yourself up for lasting success. Now, you're good and grown. I know that. You can do whatever you want to do. These are just suggestions. Hey there, I'm Yolanda. Welcome back to my channel. On this channel, we talk all things health and GLP-1 wellness for women over 40 who are in menopause, perimenopause, and who are ready to take back control of their health. Now, I was able to lose 82 pounds in 8 months by safely and strategically leveraging a GLP-1 as part of my health transformation journey. I am currently 4 months off of or post GLP-1, and I just wanted to share some tips with you to help you set yourself up for success if you are considering or if you are just beginning your GLP-1 journey. Now, this video is not about fear. It is about preparation. The Bible tells us in Luke 14, which of you desiring to build a tower does not first sit down and count the cost. And so counting the cost is what we're doing right now. So if you get this right, you won't just lose the weight temporarily. You'll be able to maintain your results and transform your health and build sustainable habits that'll last you a lifetime. All right, so if you are new here, let me forewarn you, baby, this ain't no Spike Lee joint. You ain't gonna get no cinematic experience, okay? There'll be no cutaways. There'll be no jump cuts. There'll be no B-roll. It's just me and you talking. FaceTime. Just us hanging. All right. And if you are a returning viewer or a returning subscriber, supporter, I hate that term subscriber, then you already know how we do. I got my glasses and I got my notes. All right. So the first point is you need to understand what GLP-1s do and what they don't do. They slow down digestion. They help you feel fuller, faster, and longer. And they help regulate your blood sugar. But what they don't do is teach you how to eat, okay? They don't heal your emotional eating. They don't heal your wrong relationship with food. And they don't rebuild the habits that got you to where you are in the first place. Now, I know a lot of us are struggling with our weight because of menopause. Menopause got me. I was pre-diabetic, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, all the things, and doing all the things that I knew to do. As a former athlete, 2-time WNBA champion, I was doing all the things. Running, well, I wasn't running, let me stop that. Walking real fast, eating right, drinking my water, exercising, and the weight wasn't moving. So that led to more emotional eating. And I also had to do a lot of internal work to make sure to see why I was treating food like a god. Because when I was hungry, obviously I ate. When I was sad, I would eat. When I was mad, I would eat. When I was frustrated, I would eat. When I was lonely, I would eat. So I had to unpack all of those things as part of the process, because GLP-1s, they don't handle that part. Like, I've seen women treat this shot as a magic solution and they think, oh, this will fix everything. But as soon as the medication ends, then the old habits return, or some of them are afraid to taper off of the medication because they don't trust that they'll be able to sustain the habits or that they'll be able to sustain their results. And so you have to decide right now, like, are you using the medication as a tool, or are you leaning on it as a crutch? Are you leaning on it to do all of the heavy lifting? Like, so if you are currently on the medication, I want you to ask yourself this. If you end it tomorrow, for whatever reason, do you have the habits to sustain your results? And if the answer is no, then that's okay. It just means that you have work to do before you start. And so what a lot of people do is what I did, I'll say that, I'll just talk about me. What I did, I tried to build a plane as I was flying, which it worked, but it was a lot of hard work. And so you have to go in with a strategy, one that is authentic to you and one that you know that you can stick to. But transformation begins in the mind before you can see it in the body. So you have to understand that there is still work for you to do. Now, again, I know you good and grown. You can do whatever you want to do. These are just suggestions. These are for my ladies. These are for my women who are in this for the long haul. And I know some people who will be on GLP-1s forever. And there are some who have no desire to be on it, who don't want it to be a lifetime drug, or I say drug, but a lifetime kind of solution. There are those of us like myself who I didn't want to be on it for the rest of my life. There may be a time when I use it for return to it for maintenance or what have you, but that'll be a conversation with God and my doctor, depending on how I'm doing. But 4 months post GLP-1s, I don't have any inflammation. I'm able to maintain with regard to my hunger cravings or sugar cravings, I should say, and also the food noise, because I've done the work and put habits in place to help me when I have those moments. All right, point number 2 is build protein and muscle now. Start right now eating protein and doing your strength training before you even take your first shot. I know you've heard this. If you've been doing any kind of research, you've heard eat protein, you need protein, you need protein. You need to build muscle, weight train 3 to 4 times a week. It's best, if you are considering it and you have not taken a shot yet, it's best to go ahead and start doing these things now, so that once you start, you will already be in a rhythm. And why do you need to do this? Because research shows that 30 to 40% of the weight lost on GLP-1s can be muscle if you're not careful. So what you want to focus on is body recomposition, because losing muscle is not the same as losing fat. One makes you smaller but weaker, and the other makes you leaner, stronger, and healthier. And you can take a guess which one. When you lose muscle, you get smaller and weaker. When you lose fat while building muscle, you become leaner and stronger and healthier. And body recomposition is simply you building muscle and losing fat simultaneously. So in midlife, we're already losing muscle naturally because of our hormone shifts. And when you add a GLP-1 and rapid weight loss, then the risk skyrockets. So, and we'll talk later in this series. So this is like the GLP-1 success series, and we'll talk later about dosing and microdosing and all those things. So, but for now, this is to help you get started. So what do? You aim for 20 to 30 grams of protein at each meal. That's a palm-sized portion of chicken. For those of you who, like myself, ain't trying to do no math, right? Like, that's a palm-sized portion of chicken, fish, turkey, beef, eggs, or Greek yogurt, one of those little cups of Greek yogurt, or a quality protein shake. Now, I'm not for protein shakes unless you have an organic protein powder and you're mixing it yourself. But that's just my own personal preference. And then you add in strength training 2 to 3 times a week. I'm currently doing 4 times a week, but that's just because I love working out. And you don't need a gym. You do not need a gym. You can start with body weights, squats, push-ups, planks, and lunges. You can add dumbbells. You can get, what do you call those? Resistance bands. You can build muscle at home. So if you're not ready to go to the gym, if the gym intimidates you, you haven't been in a while, or you don't know what to do, you can start right at home. So one thing that I would suggest is to cook your protein in bulk, like grill you 3 to 4 chicken breasts or salmon fillets and keep them ready in the fridge. So if you are like me and you don't like thinking about meal prepping for a whole week, the way my brain is set up, that's very overwhelming for me. I would meal prep for 3 days at a time. Even though if you do it, you're going to end up with the whole 7 days. But I have to trick my brain because I'm a high level thinker, very much results oriented. I need to see, like, if I have to be in the details for a long period of time, I ain't going to do it. So if I got a meal prep for a whole week, I'm probably not going to do it. But for 3 days, I can do that. And so you have to simplify the process for you. So if you know that you struggle with eating how you need to eat, then you probably need to look into meal prepping. All right. So now this is not optional. I don't care how grown you are, unless you want to come up out of this looking, like I say all the time, like a California raisin, and not the little fat ones that be singing on the commercial. I don't even know if they had a commercial anymore. I'm talking about the ones in the box, the ones that be mashed together and shriveled up. We don't want that. Okay. So unless you want to look like that, You need to make sure that you're focused on your protein and also strength training 2 to 3 times a week. All right, my third point is you want to build a consistent daily rhythm before you take your first shot. And that is a rhythm for eating and working out before the medication starts. Now, if you've already started your medication and you don't have this, don't worry about it. Just start from now. Don't even trip. Just start from now, right? You got to have I say a rhythm and not a routine, because rhythms move as you move. Child, we grown. I'm 51. Life be lifing. And if you try to stick, especially if you're not a person who sticks to rigid routines, let's just say if you have a very structured, rigid routine and you miss something, if you're not the type of person that can recover from that can course correct, if you miss, like if you say you're going to work out at 6 and then 6 o'clock comes and you still in the bed because your body needs rest and you don't work out, then you'll feel like your day is wasted. Like you'll feel like you can't work out at another time. So you want to build rhythms, because rhythms flow as you flow, right? And routines, there are some times when you need to have a routine, but for this process, you need to build a rhythm. If you're going to work out in the morning, give yourself a range, a time frame. If you're going to eat, give yourself a window to eat, so it's not so rigid for you. All right. So if you don't have a rhythm for eating your meals and working out, then you'll end up grazing throughout the day, just snacking on stuff that you shouldn't be snacking on. And that'll lead you right back to muscle loss and energy crashes. And you don't want that. So what does a rhythm look like? I'm glad you asked. Eating 2 to 3 balanced meals each day with protein, vegetable, healthy fat. I call it the clarity plate. A clarity plate has a protein, a healthy fat, a vegetable, and hydration. So water, herbal teas, things like that. You want to drink at least 80 to 100 ounces of water daily. And then you want to walk after your meals. I walk twice a day. In the morning, that's my prayer walk. That helps me get clarity and get my day started. And then I walk after my evening meal. And then you want to prioritize sleep. Not just sleep, rest. Turn that phone off. Turn that TV off. If it ain't your kids, don't answer that phone after a certain time, okay? Prioritize your rest. So if you looked at your schedule right now, would you see healthy rhythms or would you see chaos? You can leave that in the comments, right? So building your rhythms now will make it easy for you to maintain when your appetite starts to drop. And you'll understand, okay, I need to eat because I need to fuel my body even though I'm not hungry. And so that the medication will help to amplify that structure that you built for yourself instead of magnifying the lack thereof, if that makes sense. Now, finally, let's talk about stewardship, okay? Because our health transformation, this has very little to do with weight loss. And this is for those of you who are followers of Christ, Christians, believers like myself. Our purpose, we have purpose in the earth. We have assignments. We have an assignment in the earth. And if we don't complete that assignment, if we do not maximize our God-given potential and execute our purpose, whether we do or not, we're going to have to give account for it. And I say all the time, your purpose, the one that you were created for, the one that was already here before you came into the earth, it deserves a body that can carry it. If you are sick, if you got brain fog and you tired all the time, you cannot effectively carry out the work, your assignment that you were put in the earth to do. And there are certain things, certain levels that you won't be able to reach just because your body can't carry the weight of it, the physical weight of it, the mental weight of it, the emotional weight of it. So just think about some of the things that you've been praying to God for, some of the opportunities that you've been praying for, and then look at yourself and be honest. Okay, if you got that right now, could you withstand it? If you're a person who wants to travel and speak and sing or do all those things, could your body handle the rigor of a hectic traveling schedule? Only you can answer that. All right. So it's imperative that we steward the bodies that God gave us. 1 Corinthians 6:19-20 says, do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your body. So when we ignore our health and eat whatever we want to eat, and we take shortcuts and we just put all this bad stuff in our bodies, we're not walking in obedience. All right. And so this is your chance to partner with God in honoring your health. And it's not about being perfect. You're going to fall off. The goal is when you fall is to get back up quickly and without shame and without guilt. So this is about being intentional. All right. So that's it for this video. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you are on a GLP-1, just started, considering, thinking about starting, what point stood out to you? What resonated with you the most? And also, if you want a full plan that sets you up for success on GLP-1s, I will be opening enrollment for my 6-week GLP-1 Jumpstart program. I think we're going to extend it to 8 weeks. I'm not sure. I just finished up my first cohort back in August. It was a huge success. I had so much fun. But in the meantime, I will let you know when that's going to be opening. In the meantime, there's a link in my description box for the GLP-1 Jumpstart guide. It's just an ebook to help you get started, and also a link to purchase the Clarity Plate. If you struggle with what foods to buy, what meals to make, and all that kind of stuff, it gives you a shopping guide. It gives you a list of foods, what they do, how they heal. It also gives you a tips on when to grocery shop. So that's the Clarity Plate. Those links will be in the description box. All right. So that's it for this video. This is the first video in the series of GLP-1 success. I hope it was helpful. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like this video, share this video with someone who you feel like could benefit from it. And if you like this content, if you like my personality, then consider joining the family. We are almost at 15,000 family members, you guys. Up from when I really got serious and focused, I started at 1,500 subscribers. And I hate that term subscribers, but it is what it is, in March. And now we're at our community is almost at 15,000. And once we reach 15,000, I'm going to do a giveaway. But y'all gonna have to help me with the giveaway because I don't know how to do it. All right, so I gotta go because I'm having a hot flash. I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.